Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Tim can teach you how to make a DIY Dollar Tree soap dispenser mason jar. You just need a piece of scrap wood and a hammer. You're also going to need a mason jar with the removable two-part lid of your choice. This happens to be the wide mouth jar. You're going to need a soap dispenser from the Dollar Tree too. Emmy wanted the silver one, but if you have any that you can recycle. You're going to need a screwdriver for one method or a drill for the other method. I'm showing you simple and more complicated. And then a needle nose pliers, all of these supplies except the oh, and your glue gun. All of these supplies except for the drill can be found at the Dollar Tree, and a ball mason jar cannot be found at the Dollar Tree, but they do have mason jars. So I'm just showing you on a wide mouth jar. If this was a regular standard size jar, you would just drill right through the center. But the wide mouth jar, I have to actually place the hole a little bit towards one of the edges, because if I don't, you'll squirt basically, instead of on your hand, you would squirt it onto the lid of the jar. So I just thought it would be cute to put the little ball facing forward, so not to cover that, but right behind it, that's where I'm going to use. This method is the Phillips screwdriver and hammer method, and with needle nose pliers. And I'll show you what I mean. It's a very thin type of metal. You just find where you want to put your soap dispenser, and you start a pilot hole with a little tap on the tiny Phillips screwdriver from this set. And you'll see it's a tiny hole already. And from the inside, oh, I'm going to flatten it out. What do I do? Yeah, I'm going to flatten out the little points. But from the inside of what would be the soap dispenser, you want to push the needle nose slowly, and you turn it. We're using the needle nose because it does get wider, and we can make it as wide as we want and stop when we're there. And I test it as I go along the way. You want it to be firm, but and not fall out. But you want it to be able to pull it out again, so you can put your glue in there. And you just want it to be neat. The reason we do it on the wrong size is because we want all the sharp points. Those sharp points right there are going to be hidden by the soap pump, so we don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt on it ever, or collecting soap. All right. Now, if you do make this where it's just tight enough, oh, I'm just hammering down the sharp edges. If you do make it where it's just tight enough, you really don't have to use hot glue, but I recommend using the hot glue. It'll keep the soap, basically, I don't want to say it'll keep it waterproof, but, you know, it'll keep the soap from creeping up onto the lid and into the other area. So I just put a load of hot glue on the lid, and of course this is Gorilla hot glue. But you could use E6000 if you wanted, or Crazy Glue, or any of that stuff. And you just want to make sure it's firm and put on there. And then make sure the pump part spins around, so I'm not worried about that. But make sure when you're done, you go back over that hole on the inside of the jar, almost like you're caulking your tub. You know, you just want to put a bead of hot glue right around there. And we don't have to worry about taking the soap pump out of this to refill it like we did at the Valentine's Day soap dispenser, because the lid for the mason jar comes off, and this whole lid will come out so that you can fill the jar. All right. And once that's ready, by the way, this is all in real time and no edits, just so you can see how fast and easy it actually is. Once that one's ready, we're just going to set it aside till the glue cools off. And we're going to get the drill out. So I just want to show you that if you don't want to use the hammer and screwdriver method, which is cheap and easy, you could always use your drill bit. When we're making the hole bigger with the needle nose pliers, it doesn't make a difference how you get it started. It really doesn't. But I just want to show you both ways. When I had made the two-tiered tray and use the hammer and screwdriver method, I had so many people say, why don't you just use a drill? The point was, and the point is, that you can use it using just Dollar Tree products. You can't buy a drill at the Dollar Tree. That's why I showed you how to do a drill alternative. But what I'm doing is I'm just trying to find a drill bit that is that wide. You want to make sure it's wide as the base, not as the straw. And since I don't have one, I'm just going to have to make a pilot hole with one and then show you guys how to make it bigger with the needle nose again. All right. Now, if you're not familiar with how to use a drill gun and you'd like a lesson, like from a girl, absolutely go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I could show you everything that I've ever learned from my dad and from experience. But you just want to make sure you find the same spot that you was going to do in the first one. And you make sure you have your scrap piece of wood because you do not want to drill into your table. That is so important. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the, like I said, with the needle nose. We're going to take the needle nose pliers. Oh, first I have to clean up because, you know, it's so like me just to clean up as I go. We're going to do the same thing with the needle nose pliers. We're going to take the needle nose pliers and make the hole gradually bigger so that it accommodates the soap pump. Okay. And again, you want to do this from the inside of the lid as to let all of the extra material push out and be hidden by the soap dispenser. And you're just going to go slowly, do a tiny hole, dry fit it, see if it fits. Keep going until you get it to where you want it. That was a one-shot deal for me. So now I'm pliering. I'm peeling back peeling back the sharp layers like I did before and just repeating the process. Excuse me. I had these lids at my house, but Emily had the mason jars at her house in Texas. So I went ahead and I built these and brought them down to her. And then we added them to her existing wide mouth mason jars that she had, that Eden had left over from the wedding. She just loves that cute little farmhouse look she's trying to get all throughout her house. So then we're going to repeat the process with hammering down the sharp edges and gluing in the soap dispenser and making it watertight and water resistant. Okay? As long as it sits flat against the silver, that's all I'm looking for. All right, and then we're going to flip it over and glue that extra piece. And we'll be all set. Oh, I need more glue. I need more glue. Bring down more glue. The Craggle. Okay. Sorry. Lego movie reference. And here we go. We're just going to waterproof it like we did the first time. When we got to Emmy's, we got a big giant soap refill from the Dollar Tree and filled up both of her soap dispensers. It was 32-ounce refill, and she had 16-ounce mason jars, so they were perfect. And really, that is it. Once this glue dries, and we'll ship these bad boys to Texas. The only piece of advice that I'm going to give you is you may have to cut the straw down depending on the type of mason jar you use or bottle you use, which is easy enough. What I like to do is, normally it's an angled cut there, and I like to cut it from where it's attached to the pump. But this one did not have an angle cut. So when I got to Texas, I just measured it and then cut the straws at an angle to accommodate the size of the jars. And that's it. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family. Anybody you know may be interested in making one of these. If you haven't yet, click subscribe. When you do, a little bell will pop up. YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. I almost forgot that part. And as always, take care. God bless. See you next time. Bye.